Delhi budget, which has been presented by Finance Minister Atishi for the upcoming financial year in the Assembly today, with an outlay of 76,000 crore rupees. In a budget speech, he made a slew of announcements for the welfare of the people of Delhi. It was Atishi's first budget presentation as Finance Minister after she was inducted into the cabinet last year in March. The Delhi government has continued its focus on education, health, power and roads amongst other matters in the budget. It has allocated 16,396 crore rupees in the budget for education and 8,685 crore for the health sector. However, the highlight of the budget this time around was the government announcing a scheme under which it will be giving 1,000 rupees a month to every woman aged 18 years and above under the Mukhya Mantri Mahila Samman Yojna. Overall, the scheme amounts to 2,000 crore rupees. Before we slip into this discussion now on the implications of the budget and what the budget truly holds for the people of Delhi, quickly listen in to what was said.
एक ईमानदार सरकार होने के कारण हमारे राजस्व में लगातार बढ़ोतरी हुई है। 2014-15 में दिल्ली सरकार का बजट व्यय 30,940 करोड़ रुपए था और वित्त वर्ष 24-25 में केजरीवाल सरकार के 10वें बजट के रूप में मैं 76,000 करोड़ रुपए का बजट आज इस विधानसभा में प्रस्तुत कर रही हूं। मुख्यमंत्री महिला सम्मान योजना और इसके तहत 18 साल की उम्र से ज्यादा की हर महिला को 1,000 रुपए प्रति माह की सम्मान राशि 2014-15 के बजट में शिक्षा पर व्यय मात्र 6,554 करोड़ था और हमारी सरकार आज 2024-25 के इस बजट में शिक्षा पर 16,396 करोड़ रुपए का प्रावधान एक।
So there you heard it. We have Dr. Anil Gupta of the BJP with us to respond and react to the budget that has been presented today. Dr. Gupta, just one of your members of parliament has now already said that this is the last time that the Aam Aadmi Party will be presenting a budget for Delhi. What really were the thoughts of the BJP as far as this budget is concerned? Several big announcements they're made by the Delhi government, by the Aam Aadmi Party on education, on healthcare, but also this time around the Mahila Samman Yojna.
Good evening to you and all the viewers. It is rightly said, I think this is the last budget of the Kejriwal government. They will be ending their term by the end of the year. And I think when I check the budget, it is a self-contradictory. They are trying to fool the people of Delhi. I will give one by one. They have mentioned, they have just copied one scheme from the Modi government of the Mahila Samman, giving 1,000 rupees per month. When I check the data from the electoral office, there are roughly 75 lakhs number of women in the Delhi which are above 18 of the age. And if I calculate, so they have given a budget of 2,000 crores that can hardly give the roughly 16 to 17 lakhs women. So that means they are fooling the people of Delhi. See, if they really are interested in giving 1,000 rupees per month to each and every woman of Delhi, it needs a outlay of roughly 10,000 crores. But just this is a eyewash. They just want to popularize, but actually they are not giving. How they will manage it, and this is a fact. Anybody can check it. One more thing, they claimed that Delhi will have roughly 10,000 buses by 2025, and after this 8,000 will be e-buses. And I know under the scheme of the Modi government already 1,650 buses have already been given to them. And if I go by their figure, they need roughly 6,350 buses. And they have given an outlay of only 510 crores, 510 crores for electric buses, roughly an estimate of 75 lakhs per bus. That means they are in a position, if I go by this budget, to buy only 750 buses. So how they will meet these 8,000 electric buses figures? It is just, I think only the Kejriwal government can done this six. And one more thing, they said in Delhi Jal Board, 70 lakh customers are taking free 20,000 liter free water. You know, Delhi Jal Board has a customer base of roughly 23 lakhs. And recently, just a few days back, they claimed that there is a dispute of 13 lakhs customer bills. So, in one way, they claim that 17 lakhs people. In other way, they are claiming that inflated bills are there for this. And one is more shocking and alarming that they have not given any budget, even a single rupee budget, to clean the Delhi air. Delhi is the most populated city of the world. And,
Polluted,
we all know, polluted city of the world, sorry. Polluted city of the world. And I have not seen even they have spent even a single rupees on to clean the Delhi air. Also, one more thing, also to clean the Yojna. I don't find anything. And when I checked all these figures, it is just a bajigari of the figures. Whatever actually they say is not in the on the field. So they have just manipulated. It is a self-contradictory, and they're just trying to fool the people of Delhi.
Okay, all right. Siddharth Sharma of the Aam Aadmi Party also with us. Siddharth Sharma, I'm sure you've got a bit of what the BJP has had to say about the budget. The first, in fact, matter that has been raised by the BJP is that there is nothing original about what the Aam Aadmi Party does. They basically take hints and clues from what the BJP is doing and then try to present it as their own idea and policy.
Yeah, sorry Devika to have joined a bit late. I had some technical issues. I did not hear completely what the BJP spokesperson said, but I understand your question, and the answer is, I think this is a kind of a budget which every state or every government can emulate, because there are some unique things to this budget. The first unique thing in this budget is that this is a budget which is in surplus. Most of the state governments or even the national government budget are not in surplus. Second unique point of this budget is that the government is not under any kind of debt, zero debt. On the other hand, the Indian government, the government of India under the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, is right now under 155 lakh crore debt. That is nearly 4 lakh rupees every family. Without that family taking any debt, that debt has been taken by the government of India on their behalf. Point number 3, as far as what are the three, and this point number 3 has a context. The context is what does a citizen really want? The citizen has 3 main issues with him. One is that he wants security for himself. He wants his kids and his children to have a good future. And he is extremely worried about his family's health. If any government, forget about Aam Aadmi Party here, if any government comes in and says that 1/3 of its budget is being allocated to its children and the health care, what is bad in it? This is nothing to do with Aam Aadmi Party. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say that you have to see the budget objectively and not subjectively. Budget is a thing. Let us also understand that a political party runs its campaign for itself before elections. But once an election is over, that political party is the government of every citizen of that geographical area. The Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, has to make policies today that affect even the citizens who have not voted for Aam Aadmi Party. So, for example, if you see the new Mahila Samman Nidhi, that is 1,000 rupees for women, that would work out to nearly 12,000 rupees every year. What is that? What is the background to it? What is the justification to it? The justification is simple. As per Indian culture, there are a lot of women today in India who sacrifice their own careers and their lives to ensure that their families, their brothers, their sisters, their fathers, their husbands, their children make a good life. For example, if I'm sitting here today on your channel having a discussion, isn't it also true that somebody in my home, maybe my wife or my sister or my mother, prepared good meal for me? But the problem is in that GDP, when you calculate the GDP, these kind of things are hidden. They don't get mentioned when so many women, half of India is working productively, but it is not being measured. So what is happening is that the ladies of the home, the homemakers, although their contribution to the upliftment of the home or nation building is huge, their dependency on the male members of the society for even small, petty cash for things to buy FMCG goods, the fast moving consumer goods.
Okay.
For example, a lady might need a shampoo, she might need a toothbrush, she might want to go somewhere. She is right now dependent either on her father or her brother
Okay.
or her husband to ask for that money. If Arvind Kejriwal is coming up with a scheme that 12,000 rupees a year is going to get into a woman's purse, and please understand this scheme is not the women who are already working in central government agencies or in government jobs or who are income tax payers are kept out of it, because that essentially means that we know that these kind of women are not dependent on that 1,000 rupees, but so many women are. So if we are doing this and juxtapose it with something else, the Modi government has come up with a 33% women's reservation bill, and they have not given a date to it. It's totally in the future without a date. And if Aam Aadmi Party is coming up with a scheme which is going to be eligible from tomorrow, what is bad in that? So I think this is a very progressive kind of a budget, irrespective of it being an Aam Aadmi Party.
Okay. But another crucial point there being raised by the BJP, where exactly is the plan for combating pollution?
Yeah, pollution. If you see our budget allocation, there is 5,702 crore rupees allocated to the transport department. When we say transport department, most of the buses that are going to come are going to be EV. Transport department will put up EV electric vehicle chargers across Delhi. So that is that exactly is the expenditure which will go into a cleaner Delhi. For example, the Delhi Jal Board. Nearly Delhi Jal Board has around 7,195 crore rupees allocation. That Delhi Jal Board also includes cleaning of Yamuna. So you don't need a different head for pollution. You need to ensure the transport department, the Delhi Jal Board, work with enough funds with them. And understand one thing, I just wanted to end it with the last 10 seconds, that this government has a surplus of nearly 14,000 crore rupees with it. No other government has a surplus. So if a government or if a company is doing well, isn't it also true that it pays its dividends to its shareholders? The people of Delhi are the shareholders. They have given us the money. So if we are giving a part of it to the women, we are giving a part of it to the transport department, we are giving a part of it to the Delhi Jal Board to fight pollution, what is wrong in that? I think BJP has to understand that when you see when you calculate some things, you also have to see under what head those expenses are. For example, in 2020, can anybody take an offense that in 2020, the government of India did not have a separate budget for vaccination of 300 crore people? Was there a different budget for it? No. It came in, and the government of India ensured that 300 crore people get their vaccination. So there are things that can be used. The bottom line here is that, is the government running in loss or profit? If the government is running in profit, it can spend its money wherever it wants.
Okay, Dr. Anil Gupta wanted to respond. Then I want to bring in Chandni and Kapil Madan as well. Dr. Gupta, if you could just unmute yourself, please. Dr. Anil Gupta,
Hello.
yes,
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
My friend from Aam Aadmi Party just mentioned out the Delhi Jal Board. You know, they have given 7,195 crore for Jal Board. But the Delhi Jal Board is already have a debt of roughly 75,000 crores. This is the liability they are having. So will they meet that liability or will they spend? And just mixing that with the Yamuna is just a foolish thing. They have to treat that sewer. Their 37 STPs are not up to the mark. They are giving all untreated sewerage to the Yamuna. And you know, they mention about these e-buses. See, their statement is contradictory. In the budget also, they said they will have 10,000 buses, out of which 8,000 will be electric buses. 8,000, and they have allocated 510 crores for electric buses. Can you imagine, can we buy 6,350? Suppose we deduct the 1650 buses already Delhi has. Can we buy 6,350 buses from the rupees 510 crores? Because roughly, as per my knowledge, it costs roughly 75. So both the things are contradictory. And last year they mentioned the budget about the 78,800. This time they have reduced to 76,000. Also, roughly a reduction is of 2,800. That shows the inefficiency of the Delhi government. I also mentioned about this woman. They have calculated themselves that out of 72 lakhs women in Delhi, they will be giving this facility to only roughly 16 lakhs. So this is just an eyewash. They just want to give a lollipop, you go.
Okay.
Because if the scheme is there for the citizen of the, if the scheme is for the woman of the Delhi, it should be given. Maybe we exclude the income tax pay, but how much that? What calculation is there? And for this air, you know, Delhi has an environment department. Environment ministry is there. Gopal Rai is the environment minister. What is the budget? How will they be clean? Delhi is already burdened with
Okay, all right.
pollution.
Dr. Gupta heard you. Chandni, Preeti, let me bring you into the conversation. Chandni, I'd like to understand from you, with everything that's happening within the Aam Aadmi Party at this point in time, you also then have a general election coming up, and several leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party already now facing a lot of trouble with the Enforcement Directorate and other agencies. Amidst that, the way the budget was structured and the highlight areas being this scheme for women, firstly, of Delhi, and also the fact that the Chief Minister did highlight that this is a budget for Ram Rajya. What do you make of just how the Aam Aadmi Party has presented the budget this time around? Because at the end of the day, they understand what is it that they want to specifically highlight, and these were the two aspects that the Aam Aadmi Party definitely wanted to highlight of the budget. What do you make of this ahead of the general elections as well?
I'm very concerned with a few things in the budget. But before addressing this concern, let's address the hypocrisy of Arvind Kejriwal. And that is the same glorification of Ram Rajya that you're talking about by his government. And that eagerly extends its own hand for an opportunistic alliance with the parties that have historically questioned the very existence of Lord Ram. Right? So this strikes to me as a note of irony so profound that it would be comical if it weren't so tragically misleading. Moving on to the next concern that we have, that is the Mukhya Mantri Mahila Samman Yojna. While a monthly handout of 1,000 rupees to every woman aged 18 and above may sound like a very grand gesture, but it ironically is incentivizes not to pay tax. And I mean, I don't know many people know this or not, but this policy subtly encourages women to stay off the tax radar to avail this benefit. So this is not just undermining the spirit of civic responsibility, but also it is potentially widening the gender disparity in economic contribution. It's like saying, hey ladies, why contribute to the nation's coffers when you can just sit back and enjoy monthly allowance for just being women? So this is very absurd that no one is bringing out this point that why is it being this benefit is being availed to people who would not pay, who would be paying tax. It would not be availed to people who would be paying taxes. The allocation of the 902 crore for the development of unauthorized colonies, and I guess 510 crores for the e-buses. Now, this is a headline grabber. But again, I'd like to see an actual blueprint before commenting on it, because with Kejriwal, I just keep contemplating whether it's a scheme or a scam. It reeks a populist measure where it is designed to woo voters rather than addressing the systematic challenges of urban governance. And also somehow it reminds me of the liquor scam, which involves key AAP leaders. So if we see the AAP government, all in all, Manish Sisodia is behind bars. Satyendra Jain and his prison stories are becoming like a stuff of legend. The party headquarters is built on encroached land of Honorable High Court. His Highness Sir Kejriwal is busy playing a perpetual game of hide and seek with the ED. So AAP's moral high ground is very shaky. And so I have little to no trust when it comes to Kejriwal talking about doing something for the betterment of people. For all I know, his schemes have history of being tainted with betterment of himself and his close aides. If I'm not wrong, then there's an RTI dated on 29 December 2023, which stated that Arvind Kejriwal spent more than 29 crore on painting and plumbing, right? So, like, if accountability and transparency are the hallmarks of Ram Rajya, then I think our government is reading from a very completely different script.
Okay, Kapil Madan wants to respond, but Kapil, I want to pose the same question to you as well, because do you feel that somewhere then this narrative of a Ram Rajya budget ahead of the elections, right after the inauguration of the Ram temple, does this somewhere work for the Aam Aadmi Party?
So, I'd like to respond to my good friend Chandni. She mentioned about Ram Rajya and she mentioned about transparency in spending and all. So I would just like to remind Chandni, just, I think 2 weeks before we had a judgment on electoral bonds where, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party that was the maximum, the party that got maximum amount of donation. And if there were some reports that if we believe it to be true, I think about 6,000 crores went to BJP's account. So while the BJP wants to talk about transparency, the fact remains that today we don't know what all companies have contributed to BJP by way of electoral funds, and if there are some other reports to be believed, which I feel are far serious, that suggests that there were companies who were under agencies radar and scanner, and soon after raids etc., those companies have also donated to the BJP. So now, if this is the example of Ram Rajya, then I don't have words to define or to even elaborate. If this is the Ram Rajya, then we I don't know in which direction we are heading. Now, coming to the topic at hand, about the Delhi's budget. Now, you have to see the government's performance on the basis of its previous, budget and how they have performed. If you see their previous budget performance, their net expenditure was actual expenditure was less than the budget, and their actual net receipts were more than what they anticipated. So to say, I think if you gauge it and if you test it on the lines of financial prudence, I think they did a good job. Number one. Second, Chandani made a point that if you are encouraging people to give money to ladies, this would discourage taxpayer this that. So again, we are staying in a country where there is a huge disparity in income. It is also not something not known. I mean, it is known to everyone that we say in a society where there are huge disparities in income. Riches are very rich and the poorers are very poor. So in that situation, if the government has taken a decision and if the government wants to give benefit to women of this women's of Delhi, then I don't see you can you can find any fault with it just because the government has decided to give some sort of benefit to ladies. Now, I will give you another example. I would also like to expose, the BJP's hypocrisy, on this point. Now, BJP very proudly claims that they have and they feed about 80 crores people, with free ration. So if I were to, take, my good friends, Chandni Shah's, argument is correct, then what are we doing with those 80 crores people? And also, the ration that is given to those families, the basis of that is Food Security Act, and the Food Security Act was opposed by the BJP. Now it was brought by the UPA2 government. Now at that point in time, BJP opposed it. Now BJP is giving ration on the basis of the same act, and they are want to take credit of it. So I think it is wrong to say when the government wants to give any social benefits, any social welfare to their citizen. I think it is it is the prerogative of the government.
Yes.
They are the chosen government. They can decide what they want to do, what they don't want to do, but at the same time that should reflect financial prudence. And given the fact that earlier Delhi's budget, the Delhi government's budget was in surplus. I mean, they spent less than what they recovered. So I think on the anvil, if you test it, I think they did a good job.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give Siddharth Sharma a chance to respond to some of the issues that were raised by Chandni?
Well, I do not know from what context Chandni says, although she waxes a lot of eloquence, but then there are some facts that speak for itself. Fact number one, BJP has been declared to have 6,000 crore rupees, 6,500 crore illegal money with it as per the Supreme Court. That's a fact. Fact number one. Fact number two, BJP puts up candidates who have helped money launderers like Lalit Modi flee India. That is also a fact. Point number two. Point number three, we'll have to understand that India does not have a growth problem. India has an incomes problem. We have been seeing that world-class leader, world-class people, world's best industrialists have been landing up in Jamnagar. That clearly shows that India has a very good growth story. The problem is India does not have an equitable growth story. It has an incomes problem. India doesn't have a growth problem. India has an incomes problem. There are certain islands of excellence, and other than those islands of excellence, there are very deep waters in which people are finding it very difficult to swim. Now, under that scenario, if any government, for example, I'll just give credit here. The BJP government came up with a scheme in which 300 crore people of India were vaccinated for free. Was it wrong? No, it's right. BJP government just recently came up with a scheme of 80 crore people giving monthly rations to 80 crore people. Is it wrong? No, absolutely, it is right. The only point I'm trying to make is that what is good for the goose is as good as well as good for the gander. When Aam Aadmi Party makes sure that in Delhi we ensure that women get 1,000 rupees or 12,000 rupees per year, what does it mean? Does it mean that that lady will take that 1,000 rupees or 12,000 rupees and put her in her purse and hide it under her bed? No, she will use it for fast moving consumer goods. That is how an economy runs. When you take care of the incomes problem of the people, automatically the economy runs. And the simple proof of the pudding here is that the average per capita income of Delhi today at nearly 4,60,000 rupees is better than an average per capita income of an Indian, which is around 2.5 lakh rupees. How did that happen? Because Delhi is giving free electricity, because Delhi is giving free water, because Delhi is giving universal health care, because Delhi is giving universal education, because Delhi is giving free Tirth Yatra, because Delhi is ensuring that women travel free on the bus. What it means is that savings that those people have done, obviously those savings they will be spending on goods in the market, and that is how the economy runs. And that is why my challenge, this is a very humble challenge, that when Aam Aadmi Party took over governance in 10 years ago, when we first came up with this scheme of free electricity and water, everybody there, including the intelligentsia of this country, most of the people were saying that this is a disastrous plan, they will not be able to fiscally handle it. But it has been handled for 10 years. It's not just that it is handled. What happens essentially is that it is like a small kid in your home. A 5-year or a 3-year-old kid at your home is not a productive person. But if you invest in him, he will become such a good productive person 10 or 12 years later that he will take care of the entire family. So what we are doing in Delhi is that we are ensuring that the citizens of Delhi are being incentivized, or even if they are not productive, if you start investing in them, they start becoming productive and they produce more and more. And the proof of the pudding is in the eating when I say that the average per capita income of a Delhiite is more than the per capita income of India. Despite the government of Delhi giving free electricity, free water, most of the things being free, what is happening is that saving that the person is doing, that saving that the family is making, he is investing back in itself. And for the question of Mr. Anil Gupta, who said about the buses and the funds, it's a very simple thing. Anybody who wants to go and buy a bike today for 60,000 rupees, he does not need to take 60,000 hard cash and buy it. 6,000 rupees is enough, the rest is in installments. So when you say we need buses, the amount of allocated for buses is good enough for the first installment, and when the buses start running and they may start making money, the next buses will come out of that. It is as simple as that. Even a small household who purchases things on installment knows that you don't need to take the whole cash there and buy a bike for 60,000 rupees. 6,000 rupees and the proof that you have enough money in your bank and you have a capability to pay installment is good enough.
Okay, Chandni, I'm going to leave the last word with you. I just have a minute left.
Yeah, so, they keep on saying that BJP has gotten 6,500 in bonds and that's illegal. So I want to ask, what about the 95 crores received by AAP? Does that become legal? Because, that was also received in electoral bonds only. So does that become legal? Because it is actually, they consider themselves as Rajya government. Like year after year, Arvind Kejriwal seems to revel in the distribution of freebies like a magician pulling rabbits out of a hat. And we all know where those rabbits are coming from. Right? I'm not against free electricity and water given to poor people, but now this 1,000 monthly handout to women, yes, it's a handout. It's not a salary, as my previous learned friend from AAP stated, that the government is taking care of monthly salary of the women. It might seem appealing, but it begs the question at what cost?
Whoever used the word salary, how can you put words into my mouth, Chandni? No.
You did use the word salary.
No, we did not. We did not. It is on record.
I've run out of time. 30 seconds to Anil Gupta, 30 seconds to Kapil Matan.
See, Delhi has a road network of 28,000 kilometers. In this Delhi budget, they have given 1,768 crore for flyover and roads. Just I want to ask my friend in Aam Aadmi Party, how will you relay or repair? The major cause of air pollution is PM10, which is from the dust and the road dust, potholes. So they are not serious about this air pollution. And for just mention one more thing, 510 crore e-buses, they said. And in other line, they have claimed that by 2025, they will have 8,000 electric buses.
To remind the BJP spokesperson here, will or can you in this election give the same advertisement that you gave in 2014 wherein you said कि 60 रुपए का जब तेल मिलता था, पेट्रोल मिलता था, उसको बुरे दिन बोला जाता था, आज 100 का मिलता है. जब 450 का सिलेंडर था तब बुरे दिन का उनको टैग लगाया जाता था, आज 1000 का मिलता है. डॉलर को हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी उस टाइम जब 60-62 का होता था तब बोलते थे कि डॉलर वेंटिलेटर पे है, रुपी वर्सेस डॉलर वेंटिलेटर पे है, आज रुपया 82-83 पे है. तो क्या मेरा सिर्फ एक ये सवाल है, क्या ये इस कंडीशन में है कि जो एडवर्टीजमेंट इन्होंने की थी, जो सपने इन्होंने 2014 में दिखाए थे, जो आज 2024 तक नहीं पूरे हुए, क्या ये वो सेम एडवर्टीजमेंट दे के चुनाव लड़ पाएंगे या नहीं? मेरा इनसे सिर्फ एक इतना सा सवाल.
Okay, all right. I've completely run out of time. I've run out of time, but I thank all of our panelists for joining us to take this conversation forward.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.